So, there's been a lot going on. The world is, yeah, and my life is, yeah, like always. But I think this was like the hardest hit. I've been reading a lot of mangas, I've been reading a lot of comics lately, and I haven't been feeling like doing bookish content as much. Everything that I've been reading, I haven't been posting as many reviews. I haven't been really been able to read any ebooks or any Kindle books, any physical books. For a while now, I've been able to read some romance books, but I think I've just been struggling because of everything going on, and my mind has been a million miles a minute. And there's a lot, and I also have, whenever I get into writing mode, I also struggle to read every once in a while, and I think it was just the combination of trying to read books while also dealing with everything going on in life, and life getting, it's on hard mode right now. It's hard level right now, and I'm just like, and then like trying to still keep up with like bookish content kind of leads me into my new way of doing content. I think it's going to change significantly. I think I'm gonna start moving towards long form content, which makes me kind of sad because I'm so used to like short form content, and that kind of editing. Editing is easier for short form content than it is for long form content. But what I realized with short form content is you have to keep pushing out the content. Like you're constantly editing and constantly editing versus having longer form content and being able to gradually edit and gradually read. Like I was kind of going crazy because I was like reading books and then reviewing, reading books, reviewing, reading books, reviewing, editing, reading books, reviewing, editing these videos, and it like was driving me crazy because I would dread finishing a book because I just knew that I was going to have to edit the video and like not necessarily film because I don't mind filming. I like rambling on like I'm doing now. But it was definitely one of those things where it was just like, damn, I gotta record the video soon. I gotta record the fucking video soon, and I gotta edit it. And like I would stop reading books near the end of it, like last 50 pages, because either I would get really excited to get to the end of it, or I'd be like, oh my god, I I don't I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I can edit one more fucking video, or like I would finish 5 books in a row because I would be tandem reading all of them, and then I'd have to post 5 book reviews, which I would like to do with books, but I feel like I want to take my time with books now. I am currently working on a project where I am going to be reading and reviewing series by problematic authors, not just pointing out where they're problematic, but like kind of annotating them and stuff like that. And I've been working on a series right now for a book, and I've started it, and I'm like 200 pages in, 200 of 600, and I'm reading that, and it's crazy because a few years back I had rated this a 5 out of 5, and I'm rereading it, and I'm like, this is wild that I rated this a 5 out of 5. Like, this is wild that I rated this a 5 out of 5. It is definitely, maybe, if I'm going to be fair, it's like a 3. And this isn't just me being biased because I don't particularly like the author, but it's just a 3 out of 5, and like the way that the world building is set up is just, it's kind of, it's rough. It's really rough. So I'm working on that. I think I'm not going to have that out for a couple months, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with not having that project out for a couple months. I think I'm going to be focusing on a few books, annotating them, and the new form of content is going to, what I used to do on TikTok is I would have a review video and I would have an annotations video with all my annotations in it. And I think what I'm going to be doing now is, in the long form content, I'm going to have the annotations and the book review in the same video, and then maybe a little background on the author, maybe not. It really depends on my mood. I think I'm just going to strive to have it take a little bit more time, because I'm so used to pushing out short form content and stressing out about pushing out short form content that I'd rather just not stress out about that kind of stuff and just take my time. I think it would also stress me out with reading, and it would make me frustrated with reading. I would read books and I'd be like trying to get to the end so I can review it eventually. And I feel like me going through and rereading a book, usually what I have to do and the way that my brain works is I read the first 70 pages of a book and then I immediately have to restart the book because especially if it's fantasy, I don't necessarily always understand what is going on at the very beginning of the book. While there's like a lot of messaging still going on, because a lot of fantasy books kind of like drop you into the world building, and some have like really good info dumping where it is built in and you're learning as you're going. And some fantasy books, it's like you're getting info dumped every single page and you're just really frustrated because it's not learning as you're going. You're just learning the whole time. So then what I'm planning on doing now is rereading a book. Like the moment that I need to restart the book, I'm going to restart the book. Instead of trying to finish it and then reread it another time, I'm going to just restart the book. I did that with a book that I was reading recently. It's called A Song of Legends Lost. I was really liking it. I was really getting into it. But I kind of went into like overwhelmed with work, with life, with writing, and I stopped reading it. So then I was like, I want to be fair to this author and I want to be able to start this book all over again. So I started it all over again. I'm enjoying it the second time around. I enjoyed it the first time around. It's just there was a lot going on, so I couldn't really focus on the book, and that I have fallen behind on doing book hauls. I was just kind of buying books, and I don't know what's going to happen in the next couple months, and I can't really talk about it, which is a little bit frustrating. There's been a lot of uncertainty in not just the economy, but at work, and I am I have just been buying books so that if anything happens, God forbid, I have enough to read for the next year. And I have enough audiobooks, and like I mean I already have enough now. And I have a variety, but I am a mood reader and I just want to be able to have a cushion of not just like money but books. I mean, I don't really have that much cushion of money because I'm not good at saving money. But like just have a good cushion of books because I could survive without money. I really can. I've been poor before, and I've been at my lowest where I've had maybe $20 in my bank account. But what really got me through that month was playing video games and having video games and like having books, having TV to watch, like having entertainment. So I think this time around, my mind was already preparing, like, hey, just in case, like I've just been grabbing stuff I need for home for the next couple months, grabbing stuff I need for books and entertainment, physical media, stuff where I won't have to rely on a subscription service just in case anything happens. Yeah, to anything. And I wish I could say it more explicitly, but it's like one of those things where if in the future I can explain more, then I'll explain more. But it's definitely one of those things where it's just like, it's very frustrating because I'm so used to working and not really having to worry about the uncertainty of my job. But now it's like, I'm worried about it. I'm worried, but like I'm also, I don't know. That I think that's also what fed into me kind of going into a book slump. I've been going into book slumps, but I'm getting back into reading. I definitely needed to cry it out. I needed to cry it out because I cried a few weeks back, and I was finally able to start getting back into reading. I think I also didn't really have a plan. I had a plan for my writing, and I didn't really have a plan for content creation. I had a bunch of ideas, but not really a plan. So I think my ideas of short form content were not really coinciding with me having to make actual money. And I think that's like the one thing about content creation. Like, if you're not making money, then it's hard to make content creation, and it's really frustrating. But at the same time, like, you have to push out content in order to make money while you're still working. And I think that's a frustrating thing to do when your content isn't making you money. But at the same time, like, you can't really get frustrated at the content because it's what you love doing. But at the same time, you have to find out a plan. And I think my new plan is to make long form content, and it isn't just so that like I can try to make money from it. I think it's if I'm not going to make money from content creation, then I would like to spend a little bit more time on my content and work on it as I go, versus the way that I was doing it. As I explained earlier, it was stressing me out because I would push out a lot of content and not really be making money from it, and then be spending hours and hours and hours and hours on editing, and it would be like stressful to be like, I need to push this video, even though like nobody was pressuring me but me. Nobody was pressuring me but me. I was like, I need to push out this video. I need to like, and I think that was a really unhealthy mindset, and I shit you not, it stressed me the fuck out. So my content is definitely gonna look different. And like I said, this is a book haul, but I haven't been doing those in a couple of months. So let me show you all the books that I have. This is probably part of the video that you could skip to now. If you don't want to go through the prologue of this video. There's a lot I had to say in that prologue of the video, but this is going to be the book haul now. And those are all the books. So whatever's over there on that little donut, then I have all of these books over here. And like I said, I was annotating A Song of Legends Lost, which is over there. We're going to be splitting this book haul video into regular books, indie published books, nonfiction, and then we're going to have our special editions, and we're going to have our book box books. You could skip to whatever part of the video you'd like to see. But yeah, we'll go through all of it in just a few minutes. And then we have Baby Luke, our star of the show. So we have our resident Baby Luke. I got this series. What is it? Sabriel Lyriel Abortion. Not the abortion. But yeah. The way that's spelled is like, it looks like abortion. I got these because Rachel from the Nerd Fam said that you absolutely have to read these. And I wanted to have a good series to read if I was going to like need entertainment. To preserve life, the abortion must enter death. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. As a child, Sabriel was set across the wall to, I can't say that word, to safety. Now 18 years old, she receives a cryptic, desperate message from her father, the Borson, the magical protector whose task is to bind and send back to death those who can't stay dead. Bitch, you got me intrigued. I usually only try to read the first paragraph in these books, and I don't try to read the second or third descriptions when I get like a trilogy, because I really want to be captured by the first paragraph, but I also don't want any spoilers. I want to be able to get into the book. He's biting me already. Luke is biting me already. I want to be able to get into the book and enjoy it. I am posting my content. I am posting my content. Buy me if you need to. I plan on making this one of my long form content series. I think I'm going to kind of document me reading the Color of Magic series, and I want to get into all these books, and there's like 40 of them. So I think that would actually be good, and that would be like a series that takes me maybe 2 years to actually film and complete, maybe 3 years. I wanted to buy the first book because I was like, let me get the first book. I had Jack Bollets, somebody, I think that's their username on TikTok. They recommended this to me, and they were like, you need to read this. This has knights, this has cards, it has magic. And I'm very easily swayed to buying shit, as you guys can tell. But yeah, in the first novel, the internationally best-selling series from legendary author Sir Terry Pratchett, the fate of Discworld depends on the survival of the naive and first ever sightseer, period. Welcome to Discworld, a parallel time and place that sounds very much like our own, but looks completely different. Because it's flat, circular world that sits on the back of the four elephants who hurtled through space, balanced on a giant star turtle. You know, that's all I need to know. This sounds like a fun ride. It also sounds like flat earthers would use this. They'd be like, this is nonfiction. This is where I believe that my flat earth ideas come from. Not I'm saying that this author believes in flat earth ideology, because who knows? Like, I don't know if they do. They probably don't. But like, the way that this was read is giving like they're making fun of the flat earth ideology. Flat circular world that sits on the back of four elephants who hurtled through space balanced on a giant sea turtle. Wow. Like, can't wait to read that. And there's 40 books in this. I cannot wait to read this. My plan was to... My plan, which I don't think is going to happen, was to read all of Axio's books before October 18th, because there is going to be a bookish event with Axio there, and my mind kept pushing back. I didn't realize that the event was coming. There's like 7 days before the event. I don't think I'm gonna be able to read these books. But I bought The Girl That Fell Beneath the Sea. I know this is a really popular book talk book. It had like 30,000, 40,000 book talk reviews on Goodreads. And I was just like, period. But also like, damn. Deadly storms have ravaged Mina's homeland for generations. Her people believe the sea god, once their protector, now curses them. Each year, a beautiful maiden is sacrificed to the sea in hopes of appeasing him. Oh, I like this. Many believe that I cannot say that. This is where I'm going to look up the pronunciation, because I do not want to get canceled. Cheong. I think it's Cheong, but I could be wrong. Let's see. It says that it's Korean. Cheong. Okay, period. Okay, let's try that again. Many believe that Shim Cheong, the only beautiful girl in the village and the beloved of me. Many believe that Shim Cheong, Many believe that Shim Chiang, the most beautiful girl in the village and the beloved of Mina's older brother June, may be the one to finally end the suffering. But on the night Chiang is to be sacrificed, June follows her out to sea, knowing that to interfere is a death sentence. To save her brother, Mina throws herself into the water in Chiang's stead. Ooh. That sounds interesting. Well, she has another book called The Floating World, and she comped it to Final Fantasy, and it kind of, like, the way that the description is read is giving Final Fantasy. So both of these sound really fucking interesting. She also has a romance series, I think called XOXO Fate, but I'm definitely going to be reading these. Like, this sounds fire. The Dead of Summer by Ryan LaSala. He also published The Beholder, which sounds interesting too. 2 days before, Ollie Veltman is finally coming to the quaint island of Anchor's Mercy after a year away while his mom battled cancer. It should be a celebration. His mom is cancer-free and she's determined to have the best summer ever. But Ollie's now ex-best friends thinks he's abandoned them, and he's returning with a lot of questions because for a place that's perfect on the surface, a secret rots beneath the waves. A secret that could explain his mom's illness and the illness of so many other locals. Ollie's desperate search for the truth turns life or death when a storm descends upon the island. In its wake, a long sunken horror rises. 3 weeks after, Ollie is being held in isolation aboard a military hospital ship in the harbor. They say he's a survivor, but they only know half the story. The truth is more monstrous than Ollie ever believed, and he suspects his saviors aren't here to save anyone. Only Ollie can stop what's going on. But that means getting back to Anchor's Mercy before it vanishes, taking with it everyone he has ever loved. Oh, period. Oh. And then the author's picture. Pop off, sis. Pop off, sis. He's a sister, by the way. He's a sister. I'm disappointed by my choices in life. I picked the non-sprayed edge. I picked the non-sprayed edges edition of Tourist Season. So I'm really sad with myself because this is all my fault. This is a new trilogy that is in Bryn Weaver's catalog of books. I absolutely loved the Butcher and the Blackbird series, which I don't remember what that was called, like trilogy, but it was really, really fucking good. I think I liked the first and the third book the most. A lot of people liked the second book, but the second book was meh to me. But I can't wait to get into this. I really like Bryn Weaver's humor. I like the way that she writes books. It's very quick. It's not like really bullshitty. I hate a book that's bullshitty. Like, oh my god, like there's so many words for what, you know what I mean? I think Bryn Weaver is really good at not bullshitting the reader and keeping them entertained and always having hijinks happen and having all their characters have flaws, but also like being able to work with strengths off of those flaws. So this one is about Cape Carnage is a seaside town of colorful houses, quirky shops, and an unusually high body count. I can be described like that too. With tourists come trouble, and Harper Starling won't let anyone ruin her picture-perfect home. A skilled gardener with killer instincts. A skilled gardener with killer instincts, Harper protects her sanctuary and her aging mentor with fading memory at any cost. Troublesome tourists don't check out. See what I mean? Where I can't even fucking speak. A skilled gardener with killer instincts, Harper protects her sanctuary and her aging mentor with a fading memory at any cost. Troublesome tourists don't check out of Carnage. They compost beneath Harper's award-winning flower beds. But Nolan Rhodes isn't your average tourist. Devilishly handsome, disarmingly charming, and skilled with a blade, Nolan is relentless in the pursuit of revenge. On every anniversary of the hit-and-run accident that fractured his life, Nolan slays another target, and he saved the best for last. the undeniably beautiful Harper Starling. The problem? Harper isn't the monster he expected, and she won't go down without a fight. When an amateur true crime investigator comes to Cape Carnage on the trail of a long-lost serial killer, Harper and Nolan strike an uneasy truce. If Nolan helps Harper protect her town, she'll keep quiet about his hunting habits for now. But their alliance soon spirals into obsession, one that threatens to shatter every secret in Carnage, including their fragile love. Oh, that sounds so fucking good. But you know what it sounded better with? Spread edges. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm gonna enjoy this. I know I'm gonna enjoy this. I think I have the audiobook, the ALC from NetGalley, and I downloaded that shit before they archived it. So I have that shit on, I think I have it on my phone and my iPad. So I'm gonna be listening to that. Definitely gonna be listening to that. What's next? I got this one and another book from, and you're going to see the other book later, but it's a special edition, so it's going to be in the special edition. I got this one. I already had this from, I already had this from Book of the Month, but I gave the book to my niece, so then I ordered a free sample from TikTok, from the publisher, from Forever, whoever owns Forever, and I'm going to be reading this soon. I definitely have been wanting to get into this. It's a thick book. It has trials, which is my favorite. When Ophelia discovers her mother brutally murdered, there is no time to grieve. She has inherited the family's fearsome magic and enormous debt. Circumstances go from dire to deadly. However, when Ophelia's sister decides to pay off the loan by entering Phantasma, a competition where contestants rarely escape alive, the victor is granted a single wish. The only way for Ophelia to save her sister is to win, but Phantasma is a cursed manor full of twisting corridors and lavish ballrooms, staffed by enticing demons and fatal temptations, and Ophelia must conquer all 9 floors to succeed. If her fears don't overtake her first, when a charming, arrogant stranger claims he can help, Ophelia knows better than to trust him. But with her sister's life on the line, Ophelia can't afford to turn him away. She'll just need to ignore the overwhelmingly dark attraction drawing them closer and closer, because in Phantasma, the only thing deadlier than losing the game is losing your heart. Ooh, period. I love a manor story, like anything with a mansion that's like fucked up, because there's always secrets, there's always body. This is giving like the house on Haunting Hill. I think, no, I don't think that's the name of it. It's the one with Ali Larter. I think I said that wrong. But it's the one with Ali Larter, that actress. If I can find the movie, then I'll pull it up. But it's giving that with this. I can't wait to read this. This sounds really fucking good. Put this to the side. See You at the Finish Line. I picked this up because it was gay. And it's probably going to be spicy. Rivals George and Lucas can't stand each other, which makes it pretty awkward being on the same highly competitive Cambridge University rowing team. All-American and extra charming George is only in England. All-American and extra charming George is only in England for his sporting prowess, getting preferential treatment despite his subpar grades. When that news leaks across campus, George has just one person who can bail him out: economics whiz and sarcasm expert Lucas, an overachiever in every category in his love life. Okay. They're gonna be going at it. And then I got some artwork. This is for this book, Cut to the Feeling, by M.A. Wardell and A.J. Truman. I absolutely love both of these authors. And sticker. Let's see, sticker. And then bookmark. Perfect. So that, and let's see. Sharing a one-bedroom apartment with a stranger in New York is a rite of passage. Sharing it with the stranger you might be falling for is something entirely. Period. Nobody puts Bobo in a corner. I love you guys. I read the first book, Marshmallow Mountain, and it was about two exes that were getting together. I can't wait to read this. I think this is about a person in theater that ends up with somebody. I don't know who, but I'm definitely going to read this. This is the second book in the series, and it only has 272 pages. That's not bad for a romance. I actually like shorter romances every once in a while. Probably read this sometime next month as a palate cleanser for the books that I'm reading. But yeah, definitely. Can't wait to read that. You came back? You ready to fight me some more? He's ready to fight me some more. Look at him. He's like, petting break. Pets his break. He's like, just don't move as much. Okay. I got The Reckoning of Eris by Emilia Perez. This is the second book in the Tournament of Eris series, or the Mexica Chronicles. The Mexico Chronicles. I don't necessarily remember what it's about. The first book. Look. It's a bookmark. Period. I haven't opened any of this. As you can tell, I have been... I've just been leaving everything off for later. I've been leaving everything off for later. Oh. There's a coloring book. Bitch, I didn't know. Look, it has a little maze. And it has a little figure. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Okay, period. And of course I didn't open it. I opened this to see. And I know that it came with stickers. So there were stickers. A thank you letter. And then some artwork. It's hard to do it with like the shining of the ring light. But yeah, I think that's the best I'm gonna get it. And then I was like, is it spicy? Can I show this one? And then this, because she has some spicy content. Not the author, but like spicy artwork for the first book that I have gotten. And it's probably, do you want the stickers? Are the stickers yours now? Please don't eat the plastic. You can't eat plastic. You know you can't eat plastic. You're gonna die. Motherfucker. I got this series because my author friend KJ was like, hey, look at this author. It's about this pirate that goes on a bunch of adventures. And I was like, okay, period. Let's do that. And each one came with a bookmark. It came with some artwork. And let's see what the first... I think the first one is about... Ooh, that is hard to read. The back is hard to read. All I know is that this is about a pirate falling in love. The back is really hard to read. I will get into these later. But, ooh, he's... Anyway, yeah. If I can find a description for that and put it on the screen, I'll probably do that. Because that was really hard to read, and I don't have my glasses on because of the ring light. It like shines off of the ring light, and it just makes it really annoying. But if I can find it and put it on the screen, I will put it on the screen. I got publisher mail. Actually, this one isn't publisher mail. I actually bought this, but I'll explain that one later. But I got publisher mail, and I got Night and Day by, this is Stephen Graham Jones, right? Oh, it's an anthology. A horror. Oh, it has Stephen Graham Jones, Nathan Ballingrud, Erica LaRocca, Josh Mallerman, he did Bird Box, and then Stephen Graham Jones did The Buffalo Hunter and others. So there's a front side and a back side. This is about, let's see, welcome to, where's the laser shown? Oh, here. Hasaga Double, an anthology edited by the genre's most awarded editor of the horror short fiction, an anthology edited by the genre's most awarded editor of short horror fiction, Ellen Dotslow, with a simple yet insidious premises. With the simple yet insidious premise of one side featuring stories about what haunts the night, while the other side with the simple yet insidious premise of one side featuring stories about what haunts the night, while the other side showcases the terrors that can exist in the light of day. The anthology contains stories from some of the most evocative and best-selling authors of horror and speculative fiction. Okay. Period. We like that. I like the cover. The cover's cute. And I like that you could flip it. At the late night double feature picture show, I wanna go to the late night. Oh, is it all one? I thought you like flipped it. Oh, this is all like, it's all one way. I thought you like flipped it and it like turned upside down. But it's all one. Yeah, it's all one way. So you read it from like this way to the back. Okay. Cool. That's interesting. This is interesting. I picked 2 science fiction books because of course I would. I love science fiction. Sunward. This is Captain Tova Lur has chosen a life as a counter. This also has really small font. Like, a bitch cannot see. Please, authors, for the life of me. I mean, publishers, because this is publisher. This is a publisher. I cannot fucking read. I'm, like, struggling. I'm like, did they include... No, the description's not on here. Why are you fighting me? An award-winning author, William Alexander, a story of found family of androids in a solar system grappling with a trust after a devastating explosion on Earth's moon. Captain Tova Lur has chosen a life as a courier rather than enter her family's illustrious business and politics. In humanity's far future, hiring a planetary courier is essential for delivering private messages across the stars. Encouraged by friends, Tova begins mentoring baby bots, juvenile AI, who are juvenile AI who are oh my god, sound it out, bitch. Juvenile AI who are developmentally in their teens and training them to interact within society, essentially becoming their foster mother. Her latest charge, Agatha Pansa von Sparkles, has named herself on their first run from Luna to Phoebe Station, but on their return they encounter a derelict space station and a lurking assassin, igniting a thrilling chase across the solar system. Okay, that sounds interesting. Ooh, and it's short. It's only 200 pages. It's only 200 pages. Okay, I'm excited for that one. This I put with this for a very specific reason. So this I got from the publisher. My last name is Alvarado, so Alvarado. And what I'm going to be doing is, in addition to like The Color of Magic and that one series, the project that I was talking about, where I'm going to be reading, annotating books, and then posting reviews with the annotations and stuff like that. I am going to post a series about me reading books in the science fiction genre of authors that would be around me in a bookstore, so I know who's around me. I know that I have Adrian something around me. I have Douglas Adams. So I have to reread all of, or I have to read all of Douglas Adams' work because I have only read A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I've watched the movie, but I haven't read the rest of the books. I want to read The Light from the Uncommon Stars because this is AOKI, so I would be pretty close to them depending on the bookstore. I would either be right next to them or I like something like that. Eventually, when I publish my books, I'm going to be next to these authors in the science fiction genre, and I want to be able to get acquainted with their works and know what's next to me and what's around me in the science fiction genre. So that I'm excited for. That's why I had this next to this. I was wondering, I was like, why did I have that next to this? So this one is about somebody that makes a deal with the devil, and they have to take this person out that's a violinist, and they end up starting to create feelings for them. So I'm super excited for both of these. This is definitely going to be one of those series where it takes me longer to get through, and I'm going to try to get through. I'm going to try to see what other authors are close by in that science fiction genre, because if my books are going to be there, I want to get to know who's going to be around me. So definitely going to be going to do that eventually, but it's going to be a minute before I finish. So probably not till next year, maybe the year after that, because there's a lot of books. And it's going to take a lot of time. The next one I'm excited for is The King Must Die. This sounded very fucking entertaining when I read the description of it. And then I also read the foreword. So let me read the description. Former ambassadors Juma and Kaigeso suffered a tragic accident this morning. My personal physician detected small amounts of poison in their bodies. Unfortunately, the chemical composition of the toxin is such that all traces of it will vanish by the time their corpses reach Ada. See, the daughter joins them. So that sounded interesting to me. And also, like, I read the beginning. I'm dedicating this book, a story about found family, resistance, and hope in times of disaster, to my friends. At the beginning of 2025, my family's home burned down in the Eden fire. My family and friends in the area made it out unscathed, but many of us lost almost everything we had. Whole neighborhoods are gone. 150,000 people have been displaced, but my loved ones are safe and well, and for that I am grateful. I was touched to receive calls and messages from so many of my old friends asking if my family was all right and if there was anything they could do. It made me feel a little less alone and helpless to do the same. In the middle of this catastrophe, I reconnected, however briefly, with people I'd fallen out with in contact for a decade. Life can be hard, but good friends make it worth living. So I saw that and I was like, this is definitely gonna be like a really good book. Fen's world is dying. Once a promising planet gifted by all-powerful alien makers, it is quickly running out of resources. Since her parents' failed rebellion, Fen has spent her life as a bodyguard for a savvy magistrate. But when her lifelong imprisoned fathers are executed and Fen is marked for same fate, she is forced to flee. Armed with only a map and her quarterstaff, Fen seeks out the remnants of her parents' rebellion. Unfortunately, insurgents she finds are nearly as much of a threat to themselves as the governing forces. Then she stumbles upon Alakai, the next sovereign in line, with the royal name and secret others would kill for. Though he embodies everything Fen despises, he'll do anything, even team up with him, in order to give her dying world one last chance at survival. She also did The Splinter in the Sky. I haven't read that book, but I saw how thick this was, and the cover got me because I was like, oh, this is a fantasy book. And then my fiance, when he was looking at the cover, was like, oh, it's science fiction. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, oh, those are like Jupiter's rings, and then that's like the different planets. And I didn't even notice that. I thought it was like just like little specks, and then I was like, is this a science fiction book? And then I read the description because I was like, let me read the description. So yeah, I'm excited to read this one. This is my jam. This is more like my bread and butter. I would get into this and I would thoroughly fucking enjoy it. So I can't wait to read this. I think this is going to be one of my upcoming reads. I just don't know when. I'm not going to pressure myself, because whenever I pressure myself, I just don't end up wanting to finish reading books. So we'll see. The next few books I got for no particular reason, not because the government sucks or anything, but I got these books to learn. I feel like I haven't learned anything. I didn't learn anything in history. Everything that I did learn in history was whitewash, or anything that I learned in history was propaganda, or anything that I learned in history wasn't the full truth. So I feel like I need to learn history, and I've been currently reading Black AF history, but it's taking me a minute. I've also been reading Freedom is a Constant Struggle by Angela Davis, and that's taking me a minute. I allow myself to take, oh my god, Luke, why is it violent? I've been allowing myself to take a little bit more time reading books that are nonfiction, because I tend to get really frustrated with them, because real life frustrates me. And like, I get frustrated with books that are really intense and really stressful in general. But particularly, I feel like I'm going to want to read these sometime soon. I definitely have to read. This is one of those books that I have to read for a project that I'm working on for Cupid's Broken, because this pertains to some stuff that is going on in that book. That's one of the books that I'm trying to publish. It's going to be in novellas. It's going to be in volumes. The way that I am going to do my books, because I really don't have time, and I don't have the bandwidth to publish 600-page books, and I thought I was going to, but I don't. I think I only have the bandwidth to publish novellas that are in parts, and then eventually combine those into like a bigger book. And that's going to be the best style for me. Also, How to Hide an Empire. How to Hide an Empire is how the United States basically acquired a bunch of different islands that had their own government and everything, and then the US kind of took them over because of greed and capitalism. This is about LGBT people in Nazi Germany. Strongmen to the present. This is more for Spike's Last Life. This is what I have to read before I finish writing Spike's Last Life. I have to I need to know how these people can come into power. These people that have like that are so fucking terrible, that can come into power, and how they can also get out of power. We refuse a forceful history of Black resistance. This is my attempt at relearning U.S. history. I definitely need to read The People's History of the United States. I definitely have to finish reading Black as Fuck history. So this one is about Black resistance to white supremacy is often reduced to a simple binary between Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s nonviolence and Malcolm X's by any means necessary. And We Refuse historian Kelly Carter Jackson urges us to move past this false choice, offering an unflinching examination of the birth of Black responses to white oppression, particularly those pioneered by Black women. The dismissal of Black violence as an illegitimate form of resistance is itself a manifestation of white supremacy, a distraction from the insidious, unrelenting violence of structural racism, forced from work stoppages and property discretion to armed revolt, has played a pivotal part in securing freedom and justice for Black people since the days of American and Haitian revolutions, but violence is only one tool among many. Carter Jackson examines other no less vital tactics that have shaped the Black struggle, from the restorative power of finding joy in the face of suffering to the quiet strength of simply walking away. Clear-eyed, impassioned, and ultimately hopeful, We Refuse offers a fundamental corrective to historical record, a love letter to Black resistance, and a path to liberation. So I definitely feel like I needed to read this book. I feel like our history is very whitewashed. I feel like our history is very propagandized. So I feel like reading this and Black as Fuck and reading Freedom is a Constant Struggle, you're really learning a lot of shit about the United States that you did not learn. Like, and it's really frustrating because you only learn the bare minimum in history when you're in high school, or like they focus in on like a lot of the white parts of history, where it's like all these white people did all these accomplishments and they had to drive these savages out because of manifest destiny and all this shit. And like the way that I remember history is it's very white coded, and like learning history from different perspectives is like a lot better because it's like, okay, this makes more sense because this feels like what people would actually be like. So yeah, I feel like I need to get into these books in order to help my projects get a little bit better. I feel like I need to know how powerful men were able to get into power and how they have stayed in power. And my books will always have power dynamics. I think my books will always have a hierarchy of really bad people doing really bad shit to people on the lower rungs of society that they have put there. And I am going to constantly write about this until one day I will get tired of it, and maybe we'll find peace in society and I will no longer have to write about power dynamics in our society, and I could just write silly dumb shit and just vibe. You know what I mean? Maybe one day there will be a day where there will no longer be fascist regimes, where there will no longer be authoritarian regimes, regimes controlled by the oligarchy, like all of that shit, if you know what I mean. Maybe one day I will no longer have to learn history and I've learned everything that I needed to know about American history, but I feel like I will always need to learn something new. There's still a lot more books. I've been trying to put them on the side. There's some stuff that I haven't unwrapped. So I got the Entanglement of Rival Wizards. I have the Sprayed Etchings edition. Ooh, that still had the crack. Like I said, I haven't opened these books up, and I also didn't do the crack. This has no artwork inside, but that's okay. But it has sprayed edges, so I put it in the special edition pile. I'm not going to really read the descriptions of these. I got the other books from her, and I started reading it, but it was very, like, wordy, and I don't know if I can keep up with that. It was interesting. It was an interesting premise. It was, like, the Halloween prince and the Christmas prince were pretending that they didn't want to fuck each other, but then like they're like broody and they want to fuck each other, something like that. So that was interesting. So I still bought this book because it had the sprayed edges, and it had the tattooed, what is that, elf, maybe fae, and I was like, oh yes. I got the Love Hypothesis, the Love Hypothesis special edition with the sprayed edges. I got this because I saw the artwork, and I was like, oh, this about two horny bitches. I can't wait to read it. It's a different artwork, yeah. I know this is Raylo. I already know it's Raylo because I've heard it nonstop. The Love Hypothesis is Raylo. The Love Hypothesis. Like, some people are just like clockwork. And every time that I hear about it, it's from the like same people that are like, the Love Hypothesis is Raylo. And I'm just like, I get it. I just bought it because it was pretty. I haven't even opened this yet. I have the Book of the Month edition. And I didn't remember that I bought the Book of the Month edition, but this was like $10. It's $10 on the 50% off Illumicrate sale. So I was like, $10. I could do that. So let's take off the jacket, take it all off. Let me show you the edges, and then let me show you the book. She's cute, isn't she? And then the artwork inside. The artwork inside. I don't even know what this is about. I saw it and I was like, ooh, I need it. That's the jacket. I needed it. Ooh, ass. Is it signed by the author? It is signed by the author. Bitch. I didn't fucking know. I didn't know. I gotta open my legs because I've been like sitting on my legs for like an hour now. And like my leg is just killing me. Ooh. I've been recording for more than an hour now. Oh my god, my leg. Guys, my leg. Ugh. Let's see. I'll try to record like this now. This is like equally as uncomfortable. What is that for? Okay. So. God fucking damn. I brought scissors, no? This next one is How Much on Luck. I had skipped this book box because I was kind of poor when it came out. I have altogether canceled my Illumicrate subscription because, like I said earlier in the video, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Oh, period. I don't know what's going on with any of my job. But I can't really see anything. Kind of frustrating. But yeah, this is cute. This is giving Guardians of the Galaxy. Somebody explained that this is like Guardians of the Galaxy. So that's why I wanted to read it. Because it's like LGBT Guardians of the Galaxy. And I don't really want to support Chris Pratt like that anymore because Chris Pratt went like ultra conservative, like toxic conservative. So if I can read Guardians of the Galaxy adjacent books and media, that would actually be really perfect. The next one, I got this as my Rainbow Crate book box. I think I canceled this too, where I had Rainbow Crate for so long, but I don't think I could do it anymore because of everything going on. Oh, I swear. That worked. Period. How to Survive a Fairy Tale. I usually post like not reviews. I usually post like videos about these in their own individual like videos. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, it's giving like fairy tale book. Everything is perfect. And then you open up the sprayed edges and it's like everything is dark. Everything is grim. That's cool. I think that one goes in here. I think, yes, this goes in here. Let me put this in here. Okay, perfect. Perfect. She's beautiful. And then these are the nutritional facts. Cozy horror game vibes. Childhood friends to lovers, found family, redemption through love, Achillean, PTSD, drama, depression. Oh no, that didn't say drama, it said depression. Oh my god. This is why you wear your glasses, kids. Because I confuse the two. Physical disability, demographics, adult and young adult. POV, second person? Second person? It is second person. That's interesting. I've read some books recently that were second. Oh, she's short. She's not that long. Oh, I might read this. I might pick this up. Because this isn't that bad. That's my other one. Okay. This one I've been wanting to read for a minute, and like, I saw Carrie post this. I saw Carrie post a book review of this. I'm so sorry, Carrie, if you end up reading or watching this video. I tried to read the book that we were reading together, and I still love you, but I just got overwhelmed. There was a lot going on in life. I literally stopped reading that book too. Oh my god. I'm like thinking about all the books I stopped reading because life just struck me over the fucking head. That's a cute fucking signature. That's a really cute signature. Ooh. I can't wait to read this shit. This looks dope. This looks like spooky scary. I bit my tongue. Oh, Jesus. Ow. Took me the fuck out. Representation, sapphic, asexual, queer normative world, disability rep, plot, horrific meets wholesome, ace for ace, monster romance, monster/monster hunter, shape-shifting eldritch monster, adult, young adult, and third person. I don't mind third person, especially when it's like a book like this. When it's like a horror book, I don't mind it. Okay, period. Okay, this one was satisfaction. Let's get into the... Okay. Oh. These are the sprayed edges. I was gonna post a video of this, and I had this like loaded up on my bed for months, or like a month or two. I don't know when I got this, but I was supposed to like make a video. I got super excited. Signed by the author, period. Got a little bookmark. Then I just never got to it. Because I was just like, oh, I don't feel like it. I just don't feel like it. I didn't feel like it, and then I never did it. Okay. So those are one stack of the special editions. Let's get into the next ones. Okay. So, I've gotten these ones from Mercari, and I plan on continuing to get them from the same seller. This is from A Broken Binding, and I have been wanting to get them because I haven't read the books yet, but everybody that I know loves them, and this is definitely one of those series that I want to annotate. The author isn't problematic or anything, but I definitely want to start annotating series and like posting the reviews in those series. And I started this a while back, and I tried to read it passively the same way that I did the 5th season, and I stopped reading it because when I read the 5th season passively, I realized that since I didn't annotate it, rewind, and like go back into it and really understand what was going on, I feel like I didn't really understand the story as much, and I regretted it. I really do regret reading the 4th season that way, or the 5th season, sorry, the 5th season that way. I feel like I would have understood it more if I had just like rewound it until I understood what was going on, or like paused reading it until like I was ready to read it. And like that was completely my bad. I feel like I would have enjoyed it more too. I started rereading this again, and I was like, oh, this is interesting, but I put it down again because I was like, I'm not in it. I wasn't feeling it a few pages in, because I was just like, I don't feel like right now is the best time. And like, I was trying to passively read it again, and it wasn't working out. I'm like, I need to sit down and annotate these books. I need to annotate this, because if I don't, I'm not gonna understand it. And like, my brain keeps telling me, do not start this fantasy book unless you're gonna annotate it. So like, Song of Legends Lost, this one, I've been annotating the fuck out of it. And like, I understand what's going on. So like, easily said and done. I got this one from the publisher, Shiny Edges. This is the trad popped one with artwork in it. Somebody told me to read this. I think it was one of my friends. I don't know if it was Chelsea or not. But then somebody at work was also like, you should read this. So eventually I might get into this. Hopefully I get into it. I have the original cover somewhere in my books. And I'll probably annotate it, read it. It's just somebody was like, I think it was Chelsea. She was like, somebody says something about like spark notes or something. Some like really relevant thing where it like kind of took her out. I don't know if it's exactly Spark Notes or if it's something like that where she was just like, that's weird. And I was like, that would take me out too, though. Not gonna lie. Let's see. Hopefully this opened it up. No? It's just giving me shit. So the prospects. And then less spicy. This was also one of those like inexpensive books. I love it when both sides have different end paper art. Oh, Jean only needs to get on base and trust Lewis to bring him home. Oh, that's so fucking hot. That's so hot. Boys kissing is hot to me. It's my favorite thing. Okay, so those are my special editions besides my copy of Catabasis, which I got at the airport. I thought I was going to read this, and this was also around the time that like I gave up on reading everything. This is really pretty. I was so, like, you have no fucking idea. I was so excited to read this. I had started it, and I was like, spooky season's about to start, bitches. I'm so ready. And then around that time, that's when I was like, Spiraling. Oh, yeah. Psycho Shifters. This is the one that I got today. My niece read this. It said that it's why choose. Why choose morally great alpha characters, kick-ass heroine, extreme enemies to lovers, super steamy heat level. But how super steamy? Like, everybody's steam level is different. Like, is it girl in the shower really fucking hot steamy? Because that's hot. Or is it like, oh, I'm an ex-Christian and there's some spice in the book, so it's like super steamy. I'm just used to like closed door fantasy kind of thing. That's what I'm wondering. Ugh. I'm almost done. We have two more piles. This is second to last pile. I have gotten into a lot of comics, and maybe this is a good transition for me, because I've been loving them. I read The Princess and the Grilled Cheese. This was supposed to be like one of the book haul books that I got. But I read this already. I fucking loved it. It was so fucking good. This was really fucking good. And then I bought another book from her that she did a webtoon of. Because the other one was really fucking good. So Blades of Furry. This is from her webtoon, and I can't wait to read it. I'll probably like try to catch up wherever this finishes off on the webtoon, because the Princess and the Grilled Cheese was just so fucking good that I think I'm gonna love this. And the humor in that one was funny. It was a mix of like historical fiction, set in an alternate universe with like gadgets and stuff like that, where it was old timey, but there was gadgets and like cell phones and Nintendos and stuff like that. So I can't wait to read this. I think this is about furries skating and competing. Not furries. What is it? Animals. Bipedal animals that are skating and competing. I don't know why I said furries that are skating and competing. Imagine it was just like furries with masks on competing and ice skating. That would be a trip. Blackwater, I was trying to support my Latinx family, so I was like, let me read this. Tony Price is a popular high school track star and occasional delinquent aching for dad's attention and approval. Ellie is a quiet boy with chronic immune disorder that has ravaged his health and social life. What happens when these two become unlikely friends, and a whole lot more in a spooky town of Blackwater, Maine, where Wolf curses unsavory interactions with the quarterback of the football team, a ghostly fisherman haunting the harbor, and tons of high school drama. Can't wait to read this. This sounds like it's going to be good. This was also supposed to be for Latinx Heritage Month because I couldn't read anything. So I was like, let me just buy some comics. So I bought comics, and I'm probably going to continue to read them. I think I got a paper cover just now. Fahrenheit 451. I started reading the ebook version of this book years ago, 2016 to be exact. 2017. Whichever was the first year of that one person's term in office, because I remember reading it and at that time being like, I wonder if they're going to start banning books with this person coming into office in 2017. I don't remember when he took office, but it's definitely around that time that I was like already getting bad vibes. So I was like, I should probably read this. I stopped reading this because something happened to one of the characters and it stressed me out, and that's also why I stopped reading Parable of the Sower, because it was stressing me out, and I was just like, let me stop reading this. But I'm going to try to read the adaptation. This is a lot shorter than the physical copy, the ebook copy, but let's see if I make it through this one too, because I also struggled with Parable of the Sower. I struggled with the ebook, and I also struggled with the comic because both were really fucking stressful. I also am trying to read Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is full color comics, as you could tell, which I have been really into lately. I love me a full color comic because mangas are good, but sometimes it could be very frustrating when you're like reading a manga and you're just like, there's a lot of action and I don't understand anything that's going on. It can be a little bit frustrating. This is a mixture of Book of the Month and Aardvark. I love Aardvark more than Book of the Month. I just got these two from Book of the Month because I wanted to get this as an add-on, because this is the world of Divine Rivals, and it is set in that world, and it is a different story. So I had to pick a book, and this is about a girl that has a demon living in her house, and she kind of has to like coexist with the demon. So I was like, oh, I think I can read this. And also they have the book on Penguin Random House influencer program. So I was like, I think I'll read this. And I was supposed to read it for spooky season. Guess who did it? But yeah, I can't wait to read this. I told Rebecca Ross, I was like, you can write like 60 more books. When I met her, I was like, you can write like 60 more books and I would read them all. Because it feels like you left the world really open and like you can come back to this series. And she kind of looked at me like, do you know something that I don't? When I met her in January 2024. Yeah, she was looking at me like, did somebody leak something about me publishing these books? Because she was looking at me like, so you think there's going to be more books in this world? Like trying to gaslight me. And I was just like, yeah, I do. And she was like, I was just like, I know there's going to be more books in this world. So I definitely excited to read that. I'm excited to read this one. It's Latinx. Malamar Veracruz has never left her hometown. Here, Mao has done her best to build a good life. She's raised 2 children, worked hard, and tried to forget the painful, unexplained disappearance of her sister Elena. But when another local girl goes missing, Mao plunges into a fresh yet familiar nightmare. As desperate Mao hunts for answers, her search becomes increasingly tangled with inscrutable visions of a horse-headed woman whom Mao feels compelled to follow. Mao's perspective is joined by voices of her 2 daughters, and 3 of them must work to uncover the truth of the missing girls in their community before it's too late. That's dope. That sounds dope to me. Horse-headed woman. It's giving that the dredge from what's that one? Dead by Daylight. The dredge from Dead by Daylight. So then Salt Crop. In Earth's not-too-distant future, seas consume coastal cities, highways disintegrate underwater, and mutant fish lurk in pirate-controlled depths. Skipper, a skilled sailor and the youngest of 3 sisters, earns money skimming and reselling plastic from the ocean to take care of her alien grandmother. But then her eldest sister, Nora, goes missing. Nora left home a decade ago in pursuit of cure for failing crops all over the world. When Skipper and her other sister, Carmen, receive a cryptic plea for help, they must put aside their differences and set out across the sea to find her. They learn more about their sister's work and the corporations that want what she discovered. Ooh, that sounds dope. Which would you? This is about a witchy reality TV show, and that's why I was like really excited to get this one. That's as much as I know about that one. Also, the cover is cute. I really like Aardvark's books better than Book of the Month. I feel like they're better quality in general. I got Chuck Tingle's Lucky Day. So this one is 4 years ago. An unthinkable disaster occurred in what later is known as the low probability event. 8 million were killed in a single day, all of them dying in improbable, bizarre ways, stranged by balloon ropes, torn apart by exploding manhole covers, attacked by a chimpanzee wielding a typewriter. A day of freak accidents that prove that anything is possible, no matter the odds. Luck is real now, and it is not always good. Vera, a former statistics probability professor, lost everything that day, and she struggles to make sense of the unbelievable catastrophe. To her, the LPE proved that God of Order is dead, and nothing matters anymore. Special Agent Lane shows up on Vera's doorstep. She learns he's investigating a suspiciously and statistically impossible lucky casino. He needs her help to prove the casino's success is connected to the deaths of millions, and it's Vera's last chance to make sense of the world that doesn't. Ooh. But what happens in Vegas isn't staying there, and she's the only thing that stands between the world and another deadly improbability. That sounds fucking dope. The book. I'm excited for this one. Definitely excited. I like the Aardvark edition. Am I a little bit bitter that I got denied for a galley request for this one? Maybe. Just a little bit bitter, but I am excited to keep reading it. And then last but not least, Bindery's Local Heavens. I meant to post this a while back. This is super cute. This is what I've been waiting for years. This is supposed to be like a gay version of Nick and Gatsby basically getting together, or that's what I think is, at least. But make it futuristic. New York City, 2075. Filipino-American Nick Carraway has just moved to the heart of the fractured New Americas, where he's struck by the city's contradictions. Shining corporate towers casting bleak shadows over the slums of crumbling middle class. When Nick meets alluring Jay Gatsby, he falls for Gatsby's frank, confident charm, but in a city where the wealthy flaunt tech-enhanced bodies to cheat death, services aren't all they seem, and as a corporate cyberspace hacker, Nick knows that no secret can stay buried. He's the reason they don't. His latest assignment, investigate Gatsby himself. As Nick becomes entangled in the dark affairs of the elite and the devastating fallout of their actions on the city's most vulnerable, he must reckon with the limits of compassion and accountability across class and status. What takes precedence, love or truth, heart or soul? A brilliant reimagining of Fitzgerald's classic tale, Local Heavens examines the guardrails of morality and the price of desire. It's giving like, how much are you willing to give up for your boo thing? You know what I mean? Oh, this definitely looks dope. Like the lettering and everything. Oh, oh. I always wanted a book where like Jay and Nick ended up together. So I hope they end up together in this. I am excited to read this too. That's my book haul. That's everything. I feel like we've been through it all. I feel like we've been through a war. I feel like this should have been 2 different videos. I feel like I should have posted this months ago. But we didn't. And we were going through it. So that's okay. But we did it. But we were going through it. So that's okay. And now I have to clean up this mess. There's a lot. There's a lot going on all over the place. I gotta put everything in my bookshelves. Have a good day, everybody. Take care. That's it. That's my life update. That's my books hauls. That was my latest book haul. Have a good day, guys. Take care.